Today we're going to talk about food elimination, why we're asking you to do it and why it's so important. Also, we're going to talk about why most people who do elimination protocols don't do them right and therefore don't get any good information out of them. So, what is elimination? Elimination is when you actually take a food or food type out of your diet for a period of time and give your body a chance to be without it for a while. And then you add the food back in and you see how your body does with that. So why remove these foods completely for at least 3 to 4 weeks? Well, this is because it takes at least that long for your immune system to settle down if you have sensitivities to certain foods. It just won't happen faster than that. And it also can't happen unless the food is completely removed. So just saying cheating or slipping up will not be as helpful to you as being strict with yourself for this short period of time. I've had a lot of people tell me, well, Dr. Laura, I eliminated dairy for months and I didn't notice any difference. Or I eliminated wheat for a month and I didn't notice any difference. This is very common and I'll tell you why. When we have food intolerances, allergies, or sensitivities, we also usually have inflammation in our gut. We have imbalances in our gut bacteria, and we'll often even have a gut that's simply leaky. If we simply remove one of the triggers, but maybe don't remove all of the triggers, or we remove one of the triggers and we don't clean up and heal what's going on in the gut, we end up not getting much of any benefit out of eliminating that particular food for a month. The only way to truly know if a food is causing an issue for you is to eliminate all foods that could potentially be causing issues all at the same time. This gives your gut a serious break from these trigger foods, and it has a chance to finally heal. Once things are healed up and you start to reintroduce foods, it becomes much more clear where the problems came from. Your body will be able to tell you much more clearly if a food is helpful to you or whether it's harmful. That's what a food elimination protocol is all about. It's truly eye-opening, and in many cases, it's life-altering on the other side. Over the next few weeks, we're going to ask you to remove foods that you might not expect. This is because each body will react to each different food differently. And as we discussed before, everything is connected to everything else. By eliminating all of the most commonly reactive foods, you're going to be able to identify what works for you and what works against you. At the end of the course, you'll be able to make decisions based on what you learned from these eliminations and choose at each meal what will make you feel your best. This protocol is not a lose 10 pounds in 10 days or burn fat with these foods type of diet, even though a lot of people do find that their weight starts to normalize as they go along in this program. Honestly, I don't believe in diets. I think that diets are artificial and often harmful to both your physical and your mental health. Plus, every body is different, so what works for one person might not work for another. What you'll be doing is an experiment so that you know what foods are beneficial for you as an individual and what foods are hurting you. Elimination protocols are meant to be short-term and experimental. They're meant to help you gain insight into your own body so that you know for sure what foods are good for you, and to heal your gut and your body. It's no secret that our bodies thrive on some foods and are very challenged by others. This is a gift to yourself, and while things may change over time, you will have the tools and the education needed to redo this process as frequently as you feel it to be necessary. I urge you to be as close to 100% as possible with these eliminations so that you can really get the answers that you're looking for. And while I don't like the word diet, I do get questions about what kind of food plan might be best for a person. In my opinion, food plans are different than diets. A food plan is a plan for life. It's a sustainable long-term plan. It's very different from a fad diet, which is almost never sustainable and often not healthy in the long term. Food plan would be, say, vegetarian versus omnivorous, or more carbs or fewer carbs, and what kind of carbs, how fats, carbs, proteins are balanced, and which kinds are better or worse, how many veggies each day, and what kinds of veggies. There is quite a bit of variability based on your health goals. We'll talk about all of this later in your program. We're going to be bringing you slowly and methodically to what would be described best as a paleo autoimmune food plan. It is basic, it's clean, it's full of healthy vegetables and fruits, it's full of good oils and clean meats if desired, and it's free from the foods and food additives that can often trigger a body. You'll learn about what works for your individual body from there. Don't worry, we have plenty of time to talk about all. So, with all of that said, it's time to talk about your first set of eliminations. In the first week of your program, we're starting with eliminating sugar, artificial sweeteners, fruit juices, and alcohol. It's going to be a really big week. I'll talk a lot more next week about why we're removing these things, but the short answer is that these things are considered to be the most detrimental food and beverages to your health. They're also often the hardest things to eliminate because they're so addictive. So next week when you start your eliminations, be kind to yourself. You may experience withdrawal symptoms from the lack of sugar during the first week, like headaches or mood swings or difficulty sleeping. Don't worry, this will go away soon. And if you're somebody who drinks more than 2 alcoholic beverages every day, I strongly recommend that you do not cut yourself off cold turkey because this can be very dangerous. I'm so excited for you to get started. Take care and